and so you can apply, if you want to apply an effect, so like a color correction, you don't want to apply it to every single layer. All you need to do is just combine them all into this one layer, this one composition, and then apply a color correction onto it, like so, to make it look a bit better. And in regards to color correction, another thing that people always say they always hate is Magic Bullet. Everyone hates it because everyone uses it, and you use the presets, it looks crap. So no, not really. Look, some of the presets, if you add the looks from Magic Bullet, it comes up with this external looks builder, and it gives you all these different presets. Like in Sony Vegas, these presets are just there because it gives you like different ideas of what color corrections can be. And but really it is a powerful program because it has all these various color correction options that you can add yourself. And yeah, it's just something to mess around with. What I like to do is I like to go to the specific time in which I want to do the color correction, and if you go through all the different color correction modes like that, it doesn't look that great. I sometimes use softness. It's not that bad. All it does is just it brings out the color. However, it can bring out the color a lot. So what I need to do is you change the values so that it doesn't look as stupid or as preset-y. So if you understand some of these variables, it's pretty good to work with. So you got that. Now it's time to render it. Might want to mention before that, if you have your composition and you want to go back into what the composition's composed of, hold down Alt and double click on the composition, and it opens it up in a new tab. You got all that. Another thing is when I was syncing the music, it's kind of hard to do, but if you hold Control and you move along the timeline, you kind of sort of hear the music frame by frame, very slowly, very jittery. But yeah. So in the end, I've got all of this. I watched through it, and it looks pretty good. So you click on the layers you want to render out. Go to Composition. You go to Add to Render Queue. This is a queue, like you would at a canteen or something. And so this is where you do all your render settings. And so it has this best setting. So if you look at that, it's got quality, best, which is good, resolution, full, of course, size 1280 by 720. I don't use OpenGL. Sometimes it crashes my Adobe. Frame blending on for checked layers. It could be, field render. It's like those field order things that we had in Sony Vegas. I had those off. Motion blur on for the checked layers. Time span 30 seconds, which is the work area. Proxy. So what proxies are is that Adam Skywright actually went through proxies in his tutorials, but Andrew Kramer goes through it pretty well as well. When you have really big files like so that run at insane resolutions and insane FPS, slow to work with, what you can do is that you can create a proxy movie, and what that does is that it creates its kind of a low quality version of the movie that you can work with. But then later, when it renders it out, it uses the original file, so it's not as chuggy to work with while you're previewing it. It's actually something I should probably use, but I'm just stuck in my old ways and I'm patient enough. So proxies, I don't use any. Effects, yeah, those all look, don't need to mess around with that. Frame rate 30, and yeah, let's go OK. That's the render settings. You can save that as whatever. Output module, this is your compression and all that. So format, video for Windows, that's an AVI. Colors, channels, RGB, yeah, just RGB. I'll talk about alpha just a bit later. And you go to Format Options, and it comes up with the video codec. You can do uncompressed, you can do Lagorith, your choice. Uncompressed, press OK. Output to, click that, goes to the folder that you want to output to, so you call it C4C, save, it's the name of the movie, and you press render, and then it goes through it like so, very slowly, frame by frame, so you can see what you did. It's all good. And yeah, that is Adobe After Effects. Maybe like a tiny bit of Adobe After Effects, the very basic. I'm going to be going through another one of my projects in just probably an added bonus to this Adobe After Effects tutorial after this. So I'm going to cut this off right here because this is probably going way too long. I think it's 30 minutes or so, possibly 40. I lose track of time. But that is the start of what you can do in Adobe After Effects. You can ask me questions, but I can only answer them to the best of my abilities. The one person that I know uses After Effects a lot is Subtitled. He makes all of his movies in Adobe After Effects. So when I'm working with Adobe After Effects, I did a lot of experimentations on how I can work with Adobe After Effects and Sony Vegas, because I was very comfortable with Sony Vegas and how Sony Vegas syncs with the music and all that, and just getting the visual timeline. So I thought maybe I make all my stuff in Sony Vegas and then create the uncompressed. So I sync everything in Vegas, and then I render out that full project, and then I chuck it into Adobe After Effects and then add effects onto that. So that's what I did for Project Drawn. Yes, and then I thought, no, that's what I did for State of Origin. And then I thought, how about I do both? How about I have some clips in Sony Vegas, I make some clips in Adobe After Effects, and then I combine both of them in Sony Vegas, and then I render it out, and then I add some color correction and special effects in Adobe After Effects again. That was for Project Drawn. That was quite, convoluted, and yeah, it's alright. With YZ52, what I did was I made all my so I rendered out all the raw footage from TF2, and then I edited every single footage with color correction in Adobe After Effects, then rendered it all out with high FPS, and then I chucked everything back into Sony Vegas, and then I synced it in Sony After Effects. Sony After Effects. Wow. Sony Vegas, and then I synced it all up, and then I rendered it out, and then I compressed it, and that was YZ52. And then with all my GTVs, I work everything in After Effects, and that's that. So that's all the different types that you could possibly, all the combination permutations possible between these two programs. And yeah, so if you like using this program, go for it. And there are a lot of tutorials out there, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning a lot from Adobe After Effects. So, thanks. I might actually, I'll probably save this for the next bit of my tutorial, but that is pretty much it for my tutorial series. I've gone through all the basics of making a movie, so you guys should be able to make a movie from start to finish using either Sony Vegas or Adobe After Effects. Be able to encode it and be able to release it onto YouTube for me to watch, because I watch pretty much every frag movie ever released. So just, it's not the complete end, but maybe kind of like Adobe After Effects, this is the end of the basic training. So hope you enjoyed this series. I will be making a few more. They won't be as regular, but just like how I went through this movie, I will be going through every single of my previous movies and explaining the idea behind each one of them and how I did certain effects. And if by request people want other effects to be taught, I'll try my best to decrypt what the creator made, and then I'll try to explain it. But thanks for all those that watched, all those that supported me, all those that subscribed, all those that liked, all those that commented, and Decap for annoying me every day. So shout out to everyone out there, and I'll see you guys next time. So ciao.